It's the Shatkin First Down Pregame Show, presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin and the Aesthetic Associate Center, with your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin, and our special guest, Bills analyst Sal Capaccio. Now, from the Shatkin Sports Network studios in Amherst, here are your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Jared Shatkin.
Welcome back. It's another edition of the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Rich Gaenzler, Dr. Jared Shatkin, and our cast of thousands to join us, including you viewing wherever you might be as we get you ready for the Bills and Bengals. And behind us, from the pre-Bucks game, the SSN fan cam. Take a look at what was going on in all the lots around Highmark Stadium. There's Fitz. Too much magic. Not my line. But there's Fitz walking around and enjoying, imbibing.
Got a little booze going on.
A little bit of everything, man.
Yeah, that's
got to have the meat. You got to have Hall of Famer Andre Reed as part of the tailgate going on Thursday Night Football. Visually impaired NFL ref. People were dressed up for Halloween, obviously, going to that game. And Hammers Lot, of course, the famous Hammers Lot. There's the famous bowling ball. Folks doing shots out of the bowling ball and eating all kinds of nonsense off of the hood of the red Pinto, and you'll see out of a filing cabinet.
All right.
And there it is, the flag flying, and now we're going to talk about the Bills and the Bucks. And Jared, let's start here with the Bills offense, and it looked like they let Josh be Josh for a change.
Yeah, I remember it was that first couple plays where I kind of knew we were going to speed things up, because we go once to Shakir, then we go right back on and no huddle, and Josh runs that QB draw, and that got the whole crowd into it. And they really let Josh play this game. I think he had 4 carries for 40-something yards, or 6 carries for 40-something yards. That awesome touchdown run. It's nice to see, because I think that's what we have to do the rest of the season.
Josh not only running, but you mentioned it. Tempo, really important to this offense.
Yeah, tempo was perfect for this offense this game, because Josh is able to see right up front what the defense is going to give him, and the defense isn't going to have time to change and adjust to him. So I think that's really what made the Bills go this week, is that tempo offense. I think Knox being hurt was a little bit of a blessing in disguise, although we don't want Knox hurt. Kincaid being in there gave us like a fifth wide receiver the whole game. So, you know, when we're 5 wide like that, Josh can see the whole field, and he can kind of pick and choose his spots.
Be very interesting. We'll talk about it in the last segment, what and how, if at all, Leonard Fournette impacts the Bills offense, just added this week to the Bills. But talk about, you know, the pass game from the receiver standpoint. Obviously, you could always expect Stephon Diggs to be fantastic, and he was. Davis was fantastic. But you know what Davis did that I was impressed with was it wasn't these, 12-yard routes and then expect yards after catch. A little bit shorter, a little bit more compact in the route running, and for that, he was rewarded by a lot more targets.
Well, yeah, that's what you need out of a number 2 receiver. You can't have a guy who just goes deep every time. And we were giving Davis the ball early, so he had a chance to run after the catch, and he impacted the game in a real positive way, showing a little bit more of his route tree that he usually doesn't show. And I was really impressed by his game.
And certainly Shakir was great, too. And, the big question mark is, can Khalil Shakir, week after week after week, be a guy that contributes to the offense? Well, he certainly did last week.
Yeah, if we run that type of offense, I don't see why not, because if anybody's going to blitz, he's the guy they're going to throw it to right away hot. And he was there the whole game, and run after catch was awesome for him. He's got really nice contact balance. He's got really nice hands, and it's finally good to see him get in the lineup, because I think he deserves a shot.
Yeah, Kincaid obviously was fantastic, too. Gets his first NFL touchdown, and that toe tap and grab on the sideline was awesome.
I was just going to say that.
And all you heard, anyone that's in the media talking about Kincaid is, wow, this kid is already good. He's living up to all the billing coming out of the draft into the NFL, and what could he be?
Yeah.
But he looks fantastic.
Yeah, it takes a little bit for these guys to adjust once they're in the NFL. I mean, if you're a fan, you're impatient. You're waiting for a guy to show up right away and be the number 2 receiver. People are predicting him to score 3 touchdowns versus the Jets, and you kind of got to let these guys grow into their role. And we saw a little bit in the Patriots game that he was starting to do that, and then this game, finally, he looked like the real number 2 target on the team. For sure.
Let's talk a little bit about coaching decisions. Let's talk about the handoff out of shotgun with Murray at the goal line. I think everybody, there's a consensus. I don't know 1% of the fan base that was happy about that play call. It just seems so obvious that you have to go quarterback sneak with Josh Allen and the size that he is at the 1-yard line. Just get a little push from your O-line. It just seems like a no-brainer. Or do what Brady always did, because Brady and Josh are basically the same size. What did Brady always do? Ball over the goal line, just like that.
Well, that, and also you can do that once we had 3 tries right from the goal line, and we were in shotgun the whole time. At least one of the times, let's see if Josh can push up the middle, because I guarantee you one of them we would have got in. There was a questionable play call in there for sure. And again, 4th down and 1, and you run a play action pass in the flat, and that's what everyone does. The defense knew that's what the defense probably wanted us to run.
And I'll tell you what, we talked a little bit before we started shooting about how lucky the Bills were in a couple of ways. Half a second earlier, Dean's got a pick 6 on that play, right? And then, of course, on the last play of the game, this is 2 games at home, almost back-to-back with the Giants and the Bucs, where it came down to that last play, and arguably the Bills could have had PIs on both of those plays, the one that ended the Giants game and the one that ended the Bucs game. So they got a little bit lucky at the end of both those games, and certainly on that Dean play that he knocked away but could have gone the other way. All right, great job. Bills guests coming up next. We'll be in the huddle as well, and then we'll break down the Bills and Bengals as we continue on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin here with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
My family and I have been coming to Dr. Shatkin's dental office for years. The office is beautiful and the staff is outstanding.
Thanks, Thurman. It's been an honor for me to take care of you and your family.
For a Hall of Fame smile, go where the pros go. Dr. Todd Shatkin at the Aesthetic Associates Center.
Call today for a free consultation, 839-1700.
It's apple picking time. When was the last time you bit into an apple? With affordable Shatkin Mini Dental Implants, you can. Stabilize your dentures and replace missing teeth in as little as 1 visit. You can be you again, only better. Call the Aesthetic Associates Center today at 716-839-1700 for your free consultation.
All right, with Sal Capaccio, yes, we are in a fraternity of sideline reporters. He does a killer job with WGR Sports Radio 550. He also has his Extra Point show. He's all over the place, the hardest working man in sports media in Buffalo, bar none, and kind enough to give us a couple of minutes here on the show. Thanks for being here, man. Great to see you. And I got to ask you, are you going to do the Movember thing and get rid of this or no?
Ooh, man, I've never really thought about that. You know, as people like us who now have to do multimedia, you know, when we got into the radio, it was just radio, right?
Yeah.
Now you got on TV and you got to do these web things. And I'm always afraid of that. It's actually, I decide when to shave my head based on when I'm doing TV work, to be honest with you. Like, well, I can't tonight. It might grow a little bit of stubble there. Not really sure about that. By the way, great to see you. 2 guys, you were on the sidelines once for the Bills. I know that. And, you know, when I talked to Paul Peck, you know, he's a guy that's done it as well. So it's cool. So good to be on with you tonight.
Dorian Williams, where'd he go? What's going on with him?
Well, I think he's going to be a really good football player.
Me too.
I think the Bills think he's going to be a really good football player. I think the game hasn't slowed down enough for him yet. I think that he's been a little too, he's very instinctive, but I think that's been kind of his detriment as well. Like he's so instinctive. He's so fast. He flies the ball and, oh, wait a minute, they're going the other way. Or wait a minute, I missed a tackle. Or, you know, an over pursuit, a missed tackle here or there. Maybe trying too hard to see things so quickly you get there. You got to let the game slow down for you a little bit. You know, you watch Matt Milano playing. I'm not going to compare Williams to Milano. Milano's an all-pro, obviously, but, you know, Matt Milano, he sees things quickly, but he knows exactly the right angle to take, or he knows the gap and the fit right there. I don't think Dorian Williams has quite learned that yet. So, you know, I think that right now they're in a position. Look, if the Bills were 2-6, he'd be playing, I think. But they're not. They're fighting for a division and playoffs and a Super Bowl, and they want to make sure they have guys who are doing the right thing and not costing them and hurting them. And right now, I think Tyrell Dodson is the safer play to put there.
Rasul Douglas, what do we know about him? How soon does he get into the lineup? Is it as early as this weekend?
I don't know if they'd be able to do that. Now, if he did, I wouldn't. Let me put it this way: it wouldn't surprise me if he dressed. I don't know if he'd be able to play defensive snaps. You know, maybe he'd be in case of emergency, he'd be there, because if you're going to put Kyer Elam on IR, if he's not going to play, which seems to be the indication, you almost have to play him. Who's your boundary corner? Are you going to bring up Josh Norman again? I guess you could do that. That's always a possibility. You have Jamarcus Ingram, of course, you could do that. But maybe he's a guy who had break glass in case of emergency. Let's just have him there. Maybe he can play a couple special teams, run down, you know, do something on a kickoff like Josh Norman did. I don't know about, you know, playing right away. We'll see about that. What are they getting? They're getting a guy who has tied for the third most interceptions in the league over the last 3 years with 10 interceptions over the last 3 years, including this year, Rich. All Bills corners combined, only 12 interceptions over the last 3 years. This guy is a ball hawk from a zone corner, right? When you play zone, it's not as easy to get necessarily all those interceptions if you're kind of keeping everything in front of you, but he does a great job of being instinctual when that happens. He's also a very good tackler, fits right into Sean McDermott's scheme. And then he's a really, really good leader in the locker room. But, I asked Sean McDermott about that, hey, you sign Josh Norman, you bring in Russell Douglas. Is that an indication like you want a little more experience and leadership in a cornerback room that's suddenly very youthful? And he said, look, yes, he's great at that stuff, but you can't really lead in a new place until you get to know people. And I thought that was interesting, meaning we didn't bring him to be a leader, but that's a great bonus once he gets to that point.
Let's talk about Fournette too. He gets added at the trade deadline as well, and his nickname is Playoff Lenny. So did the Bills get Fournette for the postseason, or did they get him for, mid to late season as someone to spell or supplement Latavius Murray?
I think both, but look, I don't think this is necessarily an indictment on Latavius Murray. I think this just is a replacement for Damian Harris.
Yeah.
So you probably go back to what you had early in the season when James Cook, I looked it up, James Cook was on the field for like 40-something snaps a game, and then Murray and Harris were combined for about 30. Okay, that's probably about what this looks like. And then when it comes to touches, I don't think they're going to be necessarily making, Leonard Fournette the number one back or anything like that. It's still James Cook's backfield as the lead guy, but a lead guy in Buffalo doesn't get, the bell cow type of carries we've seen with other teams and other situations. So I do think it's for as the season goes on, but it's also for, hey, when the playoffs come, you got tougher weather, you can't throw the ball as much. Now you have a guy that can, he's obviously powerful. What they really got him for too, I think though, Rich, was they really needed, I think what they feel they needed, a third down back who can pass protect. He's very good at pass protecting and catch passes out of the backfield. Look at his numbers. The guy had 73 catches last year in the NFL. I mean, he had 100 targets not too long ago when he caught 76 passes back just a few years ago. And I wonder what that means for Ty Johnson. They still have Ty Johnson on the roster. And just so everybody knows how it works, they can elevate Leonard Fournette 3 different times from the practice squad without even taking a roster spot. And then when they're ready for it, then they can do it. So they can play some roster gymnastics here for a little while.
Okay, so last thing, what's going to happen?
I think it's going to be a really close game. I do. And I don't know. I'm not going to make a prediction here. We'll save that for later on in the week on my other media platforms. But I do think it's going to be a close game. I know that the Cincinnati Bengals are playing really good football right now. But I think the Bills having 10 days to prepare, 10 days to think about how they want to attack this team will really help. They had some new wrinkles last week with Jordan Poyer and the defense. And, I think Sean McDermott will come up with something here. And I really like what the Bills did offensively last week to be able to spread the ball around. But Rich, I think this game can just go either way based on a field goal here, a field goal there, one turnover either way. I think that could be the difference.
All right. Well, listen, man, I know you're insanely busy. You got all kinds of things to tend to, and I appreciate you taking a couple of minutes out with us as always. And looking forward to your call from the sideline on Sunday night out in Cincinnati, man.
All right, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was great. Thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin, the clinical director here at the new Shatkin Dental Health Postgraduate Dental Residency Program. For years, I've felt there's been a need to help those patients who just can't afford quality care but want to be treated in a private dental office setting. Shatkin Dental Health will save you 20 to 30% on the procedures you need without compromising the care you deserve.
Call Shatkin Dental Health today at 43 Smile and receive a dental cleaning and x-rays for only $43. And as always, consultations are free.
It means a lot to be able to work with my dad to continue this legacy that we have going on.
I had many implants. Once I got them, it was like the old me came back.
The changes you can make in such a short period of time in somebody's life, have somebody in the chair crying because they finally have a full set of teeth. And I think the only way to do it in that type of time period for that type of price is really the mini implant.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
All right, here we are in the pocket with National Arena League quarterback Sam Casanova. Congratulations again on your new team, The Gunslingers from San Antonio?
Yes, sir.
You excited?
Absolutely, yeah.
And when will you get down there? When will your season start?
Our season is March to July, depending on end of July, early August, depending on the championship, which we plan on being in.
Right. And this is your off time, your off season, obviously.
Off
so you're
season,
enjoying some
spend some extra
family
time with
and
the family, with the wife and the baby, and the new one's coming in February. So that's
congratulations.
So yeah, absolutely.
Announced to a gigantic audience today with that.
He's coming, another boy.
Awesome, good for you.
Yes,
congratulations, man. Let's talk some football. Let's talk some Joe Burrow. Obviously, he's looked much better since he's gotten healthy. But talk about how, as a quarterback, a calf injury or a lower leg injury can really hamper you in terms of setup and follow through.
Joe is a rotational thrower, so a lot of his throwing isn't just his arm. He puts his whole body into it. So I think that was limiting their deep shots and stuff. And also, he was able to make a lot of plays in the past on off-script stuff where he wasn't really doing it all the first 4 weeks, and it was really kind of limiting their offense. So I mean, that's what it would be like if Josh ever had an injury, like mobility-wise. It would look rough. So that's kind of why they were struggling so bad. But he looked super healthy on Sunday against the 49ers. He looked really good. He made a lot of plays, and we got a test here coming up Sunday.
Yeah, for sure. And interesting, the Bills really haven't blitzed a lot. They've gone with 4 because they've been able to come from the ends, but because they're so thin in the middle of the defensive line, which is exactly where you want to attack Burrow, I would suspect the Bills are going to blitz maybe more than normal in this game.
Yeah, I'm hoping McDermott can kind of keep doing what he's doing. He's been doing a good job of the defense and not just sit and cover 2 like Frazier did in the playoff game, and Burrow ripped us apart.
All right, well, listen, congratulations again. Good luck with the San Antonio Gunslingers. We see you every week in the pocket. Go Bills.
Yes, sir. Go Bills.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Rich Gaenzler, Dr. Jared, Dr. Todd. Marketing Mark, I like it. I like it. Well, guys, welcome to the round table. Let's start off with talking about your takeaway from the Tampa game. You were there, Dr. Todd, and you saw much improved, I think, Bills offense, right?
We definitely came out to play. It seemed like they had a little bit of spunk in them.
Yeah, for a change, right?
Yeah.
It hadn't happened in a long time. And Mark, obviously it starts with the quarterback, and Josh was terrific, and it looked like they sort of took the reins off of him in this game.
Yep, Josh was Josh. What I liked was he was talking to his quarterback coach in between downs and everything. I just think it was a complete, like Dr. Todd said, a great team effort.
You know, and Jared, I would say this. By the way, who's this?
This is Ashley.
Hello, Ashley.
Ashley. Hi, guys.
We've even said on the show, a lot of times coaches will out-coach themselves. They will over-coach. They will overthink. But I feel like they listen to the fan base. The fan base in 2023 is probably more intelligent than the fan base has ever been in terms of pro football. And I think they heard the outcry from the fan base say, hey, let Josh be Josh, and maybe Josh was a little bit in their ear too.
Yeah, I think so. I think Josh definitely hears it. I know for a fact he's on social media all the time looking at what the fans are saying, not letting it get to his head, but I think he kind of agreed. He's like, let's go up tempo, which they did, and you know what that does? That keeps the defense kind of on its feet. You know, and you're able to read the defense better, and the offense looked a lot smoother because of it.
Yeah, for sure. And Dr. Todd, obviously the receiver core was up for the challenge. Yeah. Shakir had such a nice game, and Diggs and Davis. The way they spread the ball around was something that we've needed to see, and it felt like kind of the old Bills.
Yeah, 100%. I liked the fact that Josh was also taking off at times and running the ball. I wish they would have done a couple runs on those 4th downs and not, giving the ball away. And in the red zone, we failed to get in the end zone a couple times in the red zone. But other than that, I thought the offense played really well.
Yeah, the offense stalled in the second half, right? They get a touchdown right out of the gate in the second half, and then they kind of go away. And yeah, you think to yourself, we got a 6'5", 255-pound quarterback, and Brock Purdy is taking snaps from under center, who's not even close to the size of Josh Allen, but it's pushed the quarterback through. So you're telling me that we can't do that from the 1-yard line is absolutely insane.
I also think it's a play call that we've already called at the goal line before. Like I've seen it from Buffalo where we've gone play action, tried to give it to the tight end, and it's gotten battered away. I think it's like the defense knew it was coming because I think the fans knew it was coming too. But yeah, exactly, 6'5", 200-some pounds. Just stop overthinking it. Just get them behind the center.
I always feel that if you can't make 1 yard when it counts, you don't deserve to win the game.
Yeah.
And we won, fortunately, but you got to have faith in your quarterback and your offense to just run it up the middle and just get it in the end zone.
Even though it seems like it's the obvious decision, still do it. Just because of the fact that Josh is so big. Very quickly, guys, what do you make of the Bills and Bengals? Obviously, I don't know. I think, guys, the Bills are thinking unfinished business after that playoff game, right?
They have to be thinking that. We have to look at it as the Miami Dolphins. And I think maybe we'll come to play. Maybe we have that extra, that we give to the best games, but we owe them.
Before we get to your score predictions, we have to do the 2-minute drill. All right, here we go. Trivia time. Before we get to your score predictions, it's Bills-Bengals based. Okay, ready? The Bills, by the way, lead the series 17-16. There's only 37 points that differ between the two teams over all their meetings going back to 1970. So the most rushing touchdowns in a game for the Bills. Was it Roland Hooks, Cookie Gilchrist, or O.J. Simpson?
Cookie Gilchrist.
The young man got it. Cookie Gilchrist had 5 touchdowns in the game against the Jets. Now, I bring up Roland Hooks because he had 4 touchdowns in the game against the Bengals back in 1979. He had 4 touchdowns on 5 carries in that game. How about that? How about that? Willis McGahee, by the way, had 4 touchdowns against Seattle back in 2004. So those are your top 3.
Latavius Murray could have one of those 5 carries and 4 touchdown games.
Right.
Yeah.
In 2010, the Bills trailed 31-14 at the half against the Bengals. In that game, 2 brothers played quarterback for Cincinnati. Anyone know?
Oh, Carson Palmer.
And
Jordan Palmer.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And of course, there's a Bills connection there because Jordan Palmer works very closely with Josh Allen in the offseason. Awesome. 2 for 2,
Nice
Jared.
job. Nice job.
Finally, Josh's rushing touchdown this past week tied Steve Young for second all-time for quarterback rushing touchdowns. Who's number 1? Anybody know? All-time rushing touchdowns from a quarterback. 3 for 3, my man. Cam Newton's got 75.
What?
Josh only has 43. Can you believe that?
He's got time.
Yeah, he does have time. He's got plenty of time. All right, let's get to your score predictions. You two guys, we save ours for the last segment. Dr.
I just
Todd
want to know
first.
if you'll share some Tino's pizza with me.
Are we giving away that still?
Yeah, we'll find some.
Well, we can
find
buy
some
it.
in the
We can
cupboard.
buy some pizza.
All right, so what do you think? Sunday Night Football, Bills, Bengals. Give me a score, Dr. Todd.
Oh, geez. It depends what team shows up.
Yeah, that's 100%
If we
right.
show up to play, I think we're going to win. I'm going to go out on a limb here. We're going to win. It's going to be a close game, 34-31.
Okay, marketing mark.
24-21.
24-21 Bills, both Bills. All right, we'll see how we pick when we break down the Bills and Bengals. Coming up next on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
I'm Princess Glitterhead. I was in pain my whole life with my teeth. I want to feel better. What could I do? I could actually go all the way and actually fix myself, be healthy, get rid of all the decay. So I made a free consultation appointment. I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go get my teeth back. And I can see it helping so many people, including myself. It's gonna change your life, it really does. Wow, oh my God.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. You can be you again. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
I don't know why I'm so emotional about it.
My self-esteem wasn't where it should have been because I was really, really self-conscious about my teeth. When I walked into Shatkin Dental, I was instantly ready for the residency program. I knew that that is what I needed. I needed the discount. I needed the dentist that was gonna fix everything. My self-esteem is already getting much, much, much higher just from starting the procedures.
Call Shatkin Dental Health today at 43 Smile for quality dental care you can afford.
All right, final segment. Rich Gaenzler, Dr. Jared Shatkin talking about the Bills and the Bengals, Sunday Night Football. I wonder, and I haven't had the opportunity, and not too many people have talked to the players, I don't think, enough about how the schedule affects how they play, right? There's just not been any consistency between, a Sunday night, a Monday night, a Thursday night, a Sunday day. I mean, they've been all over the map, as have a lot of the good teams, because that's what they do. The good teams get in the primetime spots, right? But you got to figure it's got to somehow affect their play, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have an extra 4 days of rest on the Bengals, and they just played a hard game against San Francisco.
On the road, yeah.
On the road, West Coast, they have to travel back. I mean, if there's any time where it could possibly affect the Bengals, it could be now. And I don't think a player would tell us it's affecting them, but yeah, you're definitely right. Travel could play a big role.
I think unfinished business should be what's being talked about in this game, coming off the playoff game last year, obviously, between these two teams. And obviously, the Bills had sort of that, Hamlin hangover, I'll call it. They were just spent physically, mentally going into that game, and it showed.
Yeah, they're about to be awake for this game, and it's going to be a hard-hitting game. A lot of emotion on both sides. And DeMar's probably going to be in the building, the same place where he went down. And I think this Bills team is going to play with a lot of emotion, and I think the Bengals are also going to play with a lot of emotion. This is the best Sunday night game I think there's been this year.
Yeah, the Bills cannot afford another conference loss, by the way. And when it comes to the tiebreak, I mean, the Bengals are winless in the conference as well. They can't afford to lose at this point either. This is a big game for both teams.
Yeah, it's a big game, and the Bengals are starting to play really well, and Joe Burrow is starting to heat up right now. So it's going to be one of the top matchups you see this season.
For sure. Yeah, Mixon turned it up against the Niners. Higgins is healthy again.
Yeah.
And then defensively, look at Hendrickson has 8 sacks already.
Yeah.
Hubbard's fantastic off the edge. They got really good backers in the Wyoming kid Logan Wilson and also in Pratt, who do everything. They pick the ball off, they sack, they tackle for losses. They are just an aggressive. Lou Atarula does a great job defensively for the Bengals. This is going to be a very, very serious challenge for the Bills to score a lot of points.
Yeah, we really have to. This has to be a shootout if we want to win this game. I don't think we can really afford having drives stall with 3 points or having 4 and outs. We have to score as many times as we possibly can because we know the Bengals are going to score as many times as they can.
Rasul Douglas, I would suspect, will probably play. They'll just throw him right in there and here you go, kid.
Yeah, this is the game where you need all your defensive backs.
Right.
Even though Joe Mixon does a great job running, I still think this is going to be one of those fireworks shows where both quarterbacks are just throwing it all over the field.
Yeah, I mean, forget about obviously their 3 top receivers in Boyd and Higgins and Chase, but the other kids, Ayushevis, the kid from Princeton, has been really good in the red zone. Irwin's a nice little slot player. I mean, they got guys. They're not super. Irv Smith, I'm not super impressed with at tight end, but they got guys to go to aside from the holy trinity of receivers that they have.
That's as good as it gets right there.
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, Higgins, and man, those 3 are. And when you have Joe Burrow, you can throw anybody out there. It's like having Tom Brady back in the day.
They cannot let him get the ball out quickly. They got to get to him. They got to pressure. They got to cover. I mean, that's all it comes down to in this game. Listen, if Joe Mixon beats us, I think I'm okay with that.
Exactly.
Because I don't think that's going to happen, although obviously we're still thin in the middle of the defensive line. But I don't think Joe Mixon's going to be the guy that beats the Bills. All right, let's get your score prediction for the game.
This is the first week I'll probably pick against the Bills. I think that the Bengals are going to win this one, and it's unfortunate. I hope so I've been picking the Bills and we've been losing, so I hope it's one of those opposite effects. I think the Bengals are going to win 31-24.
Yeah, I have the Bengals as well, sadly. I'm going to take them 27-23 in this game. We're still going to cheer.
Yeah.
We're still going to be fans. We want them to win clearly, but sometimes our brains and our hearts are a little bit different, right, when it comes to football.
Exactly.
And this is the case certainly in this go-round of the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Hey, thanks to Dr. Todd Shatkin, who guested with us, and, of course, Marketing Mark, who's with us as well, Aesthetic Associates, and Shatkin Dental Health, and, of course, for you watching at home. Go Bills, Bengals, Sunday Night Football on the road. We'll see you next week on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
In the Pocket is sponsored by Mini Dumpster Rental. Call 716-429-6362. This has been a production of the Shatkin Sports Network.